Most people think the difference between rich and poor is income. But let me ask you something. If income is everything, then why do some people earning $2,000 a month slowly build wealth while others earning $10,000 a month are constantly broke? It doesn't make sense at first, because we've been taught that more money solves money problems. But in reality, money doesn't fix your thinking, it reveals it. Let me show you something simple. Imagine two people. Both of them receive an extra $1,000 today. Same amount, same situation. But what they do next quietly decides their financial future. One person thinks, finally, I deserve something nice. They upgrade their phone, buy new clothes, maybe go out more often. Nothing crazy, just enjoying life. The other person pauses. They think, how can this $1,000 make me more money? Same money, two completely different mindsets. And over time, this tiny difference becomes everything. This is what I call the $1,000 mindset. It's not about the amount, it's about what you believe money is for. Because most people see money as a reward, but wealthy people see money as a tool. And that one shift changes everything. Let's go deeper. Growing up, most of us are taught to think about money emotionally. You work hard, you get paid, you spend to feel better. That cycle becomes normal. Bad day, spend money. Good day, spend money. Stressed, spend money. It becomes less about need and more about feeling. This is why so many people stay stuck, not because they don't earn enough, but because they use money to escape emotions instead of building freedom. Now think about that first person again. They didn't do anything wrong, they just followed what felt natural. And that's the trap. Because the things that feel natural with money are often the things that keep you broke. Now let's look at the second person. They delay the reward, not forever, just long enough to think. They ask one simple question. If I spend it, it's gone. But if I use it, can it grow? That question changes behavior. Instead of buying something that loses value, they look for something that creates value. Maybe they invest it. Maybe they start something small. Maybe they learn a skill. The action doesn't matter as much as the mindset behind it. Because now, money is no longer just something to consume, it becomes something to multiply. And here's where it gets interesting. At the beginning, the difference is invisible. Both people are living similar lives, same job, same lifestyle. But fast forward a few years, the first person has nothing to show for those extra amounts. The second person has small assets, small investments, small streams of income. Nothing huge, but something is growing. And growth changes everything. This is how wealth actually builds. Not from one big move, but from repeated small decisions, over and over again. Now let's talk about psychology. Because this isn't just about money, it's about how your brain works. Your brain is wired for immediate reward. It wants pleasure now, not later. That's why spending feels good. You get a quick dopamine hit. But building wealth requires the opposite, delayed gratification. And that's uncomfortable. That's why most people don't do it. Not because it's hard, but because it feels wrong in the moment. Think about it. Choosing not to spend when you can feels like you're missing out. But what you're actually doing is choosing a bigger future over a smaller present. And that's rare. Now here's something even deeper. The $1,000 mindset is not about always investing. It's about intention. A poor mindset asks, what can I get from this money? A wealthy mindset asks, what can this money become? That one question shifts everything. Because now, every dollar has a job, not just to be spent, but to create something. Let me give you a simple example. Let's say you get $1,000 every few months. If you spend it each time, nothing changes. Your lifestyle improves slightly, but temporarily. But if you redirect even part of it consistently, $200, $300, it starts to build. And once it builds, something powerful happens. Your money starts working for you, even when you're not working. That's the moment everything changes. Because now, you're no longer trading time for money only. You're building systems, and systems create freedom. Now here's the truth most people don't realize. Wealth is not built by earning more. It's built by keeping and growing what you earn. There are people making high incomes living paycheck to paycheck, and there are people with average incomes quietly building wealth. The difference? Not opportunity, not luck, mindset. Specifically, how they treat extra money. That extra is where the future is decided. Now let's address a common belief. I'll start investing when I earn more. That sounds logical, but it's one of the biggest traps. Because if you can't manage $1,000, you won't manage $10,000. More money doesn't fix bad habits, it amplifies them. So if your instinct is to spend everything now, more income just means bigger spending. That's why the $1,000 mindset is so important. It trains you early, it builds the habit before the big money comes, and habits are what create outcomes. Now let's go deeper into behavior. People don't just spend money, they spend identity. When someone buys something expensive, it's not always about the item, it's about how it makes them feel. More successful, more respected, more confident. But here's the problem. If your confidence depends on spending, you will always need more money to feel enough. That's a dangerous cycle, because it never ends. The wealthy mindset breaks that cycle. It separates self-worth from spending. It understands that real confidence comes from control, not consumption. Control over your money, control over your decisions, control over your future. Now let's bring this back to the $1,000 mindset. Every time you receive money, you have a choice. Use it to feel good now, or use it to build something that makes your life easier later. Neither feels dramatic in the moment, but over time, one creates stress and the other creates freedom. And the difference starts small, almost invisible. That's why most people miss it. They're looking for big opportunities while ignoring small decisions. But small decisions, repeated consistently, become big results. That's the game. Now here's a practical way to think about it. Next time you receive extra money, don't ask what should I buy. Pause. Ask a better question. How can I split this? Maybe some for enjoyment and some for growth. You don't need to be extreme. You don't need to invest everything. But you do need to change the pattern. Because once the pattern changes, everything else follows. Over time, you'll notice something. Spending will stop being automatic, and using money intentionally will feel normal. That's when the mindset shift has happened. And once that happens, your financial life starts moving in a different direction. Not overnight, but consistently. And consistency is what builds wealth. Now let's end with something simple. The difference between rich and poor is not money. It's what they do when money shows up, especially small amounts. Because small amounts are where habits are formed, and habits decide your future. So the next time $1,000 comes into your life, remember, it's not just money, it's a decision. And that decision repeated over time becomes your reality.